You break through the shell into heat, pressure, and the stink of rotting leaves. You are only 30 centimeters long, blind with new light. Your body slick with mud and egg fluid. Around you, the nest is waking up. Shells crack. Tiny claws scrape. Small bodies push and twist through wet leaves on a riverbank in northern Australia. And everything here wants to eat you. Somewhere above, something huge shifts with a low, rumbling growl. That is your mother, or at least the creature that thinks she is. She is a female saltwater crocodile, over 3 meters long, and for 3 months she has guarded this mound of rotting plants with absolute violence. Goannas, birds, wild pigs, other crocodiles. Anything that came too close, she drove off. She knows these eggs. She knows this river. She knows exactly what her hatchlings should be. But she does not know what you are. You are not a saltwater crocodile. You are a Deinosuchus hatchling, a terror from 75 million years ago, somehow born into a modern crocodile nest. Right now, the difference is almost invisible. You are small like the others, same armored back, same sharp little jaws, same instinct screaming through your blood. Get to the water. The nest explodes into movement. Your mother nudges the hatchlings gently toward the bank, and you follow with the rest, tumbling over roots and wet mud toward the shallows. Birds cry overhead. Insects buzz through the humid air. The river gleams brown and silent ahead of you. You make it in. For 3 days, you survive. That is already a miracle. Then the water changes. You are hiding in roots near the bank with your siblings when a pressure wave rolls through the shallows. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Your tiny body freezes before your mind understands why. Something enormous is moving upstream. Then he appears. A male saltwater crocodile, 6 meters long, ancient, scarred, and fully in control of this stretch of river. He does not charge. He does not thrash. He just glides into the shallows and opens his jaws. One sibling disappears, then another, then another. Your mother bellows and lunges from the bank, but she is too late. The male slips backward into deeper water with half the river trembling around him. That is your first lesson. There is something in this river that eats crocodiles. And if you survive long enough, one day that something will be you. For the next few weeks, your whole world is only mud, roots, and fear. You learn fast because anything slower dies. The deep water belongs to him. You feel that long before you understand it. Every morning and every dusk, the river sends you a warning first, a low pressure rolling through the shallows as his body cuts forward somewhere beyond the reeds. Whenever you feel it, you stop moving. You sink low. You become a piece of the bank and pray he keeps going. Most of your siblings do not last. A heron spears one in water so shallow its belly was scraping mud. A barramundi erupts from below and drags another under in a spray of brown water. A goanna finds 2 more when they stray too far from the nest bank. The river does not care what takes you. It only cares that something does. But you stay alive. You eat whatever you can catch. Insects skating across the surface. Tadpoles, tiny fish, soft things that fit between your jaws. It is never enough, but it keeps your heart beating and your body growing, and you are growing. By the time the wet season begins to fade, the other hatchlings that survived are still small, still delicate, still easy to mistake for any young saltwater crocodile in northern Australia. You are not. You are nearly 1 meter long already. Your skull is broader than it should be. Your snout feels heavier. Your teeth are thicker. less like needles and more like little pegs built to hold and crush. When you snap at fish now, they do not wriggle free as often. When you push through the root tangles that used to swallow you whole, your back scrapes bark. Even the other young crocodiles have started giving you room. And he has noticed. Sometimes, from the deep bend in the river, you see only his eyes and nostrils above the surface, fixed on you from far downstream. Not attacking. Not yet. Just watching. Measuring. A year ago, you would have been nothing but a mouthful. Now you are becoming a problem. The dry season is coming, and with it the worst time in this river. Water will shrink. Hiding places will vanish. Everything that lives here will be forced closer together. And for the first time, you are going to have nowhere to disappear. The billabong starts shrinking in May. At first it happens so slowly you barely notice. The edges pull back by a few inches each day. Mud banks widen. Root tangles that once floated now sag into the open air. Fish crowd into tighter water, flashing silver in places that used to feel deep and safe. By June, everyone notices. The birds arrive first. Herons, egrets, kites, all circling overhead because shrinking water means trapped prey. Then the smaller crocodiles start packing into the remaining pools, each one trying to stay close enough to water to survive, but far enough from the big male to avoid becoming a lesson. You do not have that luxury. This is your river too, or at least the part of it you have managed to survive in. So you take the shallowest edge of the shrinking billabong, where the mud stays wet and the water still covers your back. It is miserable. The pool stinks of rot and dying fish. The nights turn cold enough that your body slows to a crawl, and each morning you lie still for hours, waiting for sunlight to warm your blood enough to move. Meanwhile, he takes the center. Of course he does. The deepest pocket of water belongs to the 6-meter male, and everyone in the billabong knows it. He lies there half submerged like a fallen log, ancient eyes just above the surface, owning the last safe water for kilometers in every direction. Sometimes he feeds. Sometimes he only watches. That is worse. By August, the billabong is hardly a billabong at all. It is a muddy hole, maybe 20 meters across, packed with fish, birds, and crocodiles that all know exactly how bad things have become. There is nowhere to hide now. Every movement is visible. Every mistake gets noticed. You are nearly 2 meters long, far too big to vanish in the roots, far too small to challenge what waits in the middle. Some nights, when the cold is worst and the mud is drying around your sides, you dig down into the deepest patch you can find and stay there, buried almost to the eyes, heart slowing, body conserving every scrap of energy. Around you, weaker animals begin to fail. A small crocodile dries out on the far bank. Fish rot in puddles too shallow to hold them. The whole river feels like it is holding its breath, and still, the rains do not come. When they finally do, the first sound is thunder, and somewhere in that first wall of rain, as the cracked earth turns back to water, you drag yourself free of the mud larger, heavier, spawn and more dangerous than anything in this river expected you to become. The rain does not fall, it attacks. 1 second the air is heavy and still. The next, the sky breaks open and the whole world turns white with water. Thunder rolls over the floodplain. Mud banks collapse into the rising pool. Dry channels wake like they were only sleeping. The billabong begins to fill so fast it feels alive again. You pull yourself from the mud and hold still in the shallows, letting the warm rain strike your back. You are not the same animal that buried itself here. You are almost 2 meters long now. Your body is thicker, your skull broader, your jaws heavier than any young crocodile's should be. The others feel it the moment they see you move. They slide aside without thinking, giving you space they would have fought to keep a season ago. And then he returns to patrol. The big male moves through the refilling water the same way he always has, slow and absolute, like the river itself belongs to him. For nearly a year, every warning in your body has answered that shape the same way. Hide, freeze, disappear. This time, you do none of those things. You stay where you are, half submerged near the bank, and watch him come. He notices immediately. His head turns a fraction. Old eyes fix on you. He keeps gliding forward, but more slowly now, as if he is working something out. A year ago, you were one more hatchling in the shallows, soft and easy to kill. Now you are something else. Not big enough to challenge him. Not small enough to ignore. For a few long seconds, the two of you share the same stretch of water without either one looking away. Then he passes. He does not lunge. He does not test you. He drifts on into deeper water and continues downstream, leaving only the widening V of his wake behind him. That tiny choice changes everything. You are still not safe. If he decided to kill you, he probably still could. But this is the first time in your life that the monster in the deep water looked at you and chose caution. The gap is shrinking, and your body has no intention of stopping. By the end of your 3rd year, you will be 4 meters long. By then, the root tangles that once hid you will be useless. By then, this river will have to decide which one of you it belongs to. By your 3rd year, the river has started making room for you. You are 4 meters long now. The crocodiles born in the same season as you are barely half your size, lean young predators still learning where they fit in the old hierarchy. You passed that hierarchy a long time ago. When you move through the deeper channels, they slide away before you get close. No threat displays, no posturing, just instinct. Something bigger is here, something wrong. Your skull has become unmistakable, broader, heavier, built like it was carved for impact instead of speed. Your teeth no longer look like the thin grabbing spikes of a saltwater crocodile. They are thicker, tougher, made to hold and crush. Every month, every meal, the difference becomes harder to ignore, and he is still here. The old male still patrols the deep bend, though not like before. His movements are slower now, more deliberate. He does not sweep as wide. He does not push as far into your side of the river. For the first time in his life, there is another large predator in his water that does not respect the old rules. For months, the two of you circle the problem. You take fish from channels that once fed his pool. You rest on banks that used to fall inside his patrol line. When buffalo come down to drink, you wait closer than he likes. Each time he backs off a little more, giving up pieces of the river without ever admitting that is what he is doing. But there is only so much river bend a dominant male can surrender before he stops being dominant. The confrontation comes at dawn. Mist hangs low over the deep pool. The water is glassy, silent, the kind of morning when every ripple matters. You are already there, lying half submerged in the best part of the bend, the place he has ruled for 12 years. He rises from the deeper channel and sees you immediately. This time, he does not drift away. He turns toward you. His mouth opens slightly, showing yellow teeth. His body lifts higher in the water, making himself look larger, older, heavier. It is the ancient language of crocodiles. Back down now, and maybe we both leave with our skins intact. You do not move. You do not display. You only wait. And when he lunges, the river finally learns that one of its monsters has been replaced. He comes fast for something so large. The old male explodes across the pool in a surge of muscle and spray, jaws aimed for your head the way crocodiles have always fought. By taking control of the skull, the throat, the part that ends everything quickly if the grip is right. He has done this before. He has done it for 12 years. Smaller males, trespassers, anything foolish enough to challenge him in deep water. Every scar on his body was earned in fights he survived, and until this moment, survival had always meant victory. But you are not another saltwater crocodile. You meet him head-on. The impact slams through the water like a falling tree. Mud erupts from the bottom. Fish burst from the shallows in flashing panic. For one violent second, both of you disappear beneath the surface in a boil of brown foam and thrashing tails. Then your jaws close, not on his throat, on the side of his skull, and something gives. It is not a clean snap, not some dramatic break all at once. It is worse than that. A deep, cracking pressure, bone straining under force it was never built to handle. You feel the structure deform between your teeth. The old male jerks hard, his body convulsing with surprise before pain takes over and turns it into panic. Now he thrashes. Now he tries to roll. Water churns red and brown around both of you as he twists to tear free, but your grip only tightens. This is where your kind wins. Not by being slightly bigger, not by being slightly meaner. By being built for a level of crushing power this river has not seen in millions of years, you begin to spin. The death roll tears the pool apart. Your whole body becomes torque and violence, all your mass rotating around the grip on his skull. The old male manages one desperate wrench sideways, ripping himself loose before the roll can finish him. But the damage is done. He surfaces crooked. Blood spills from the side of his head, dark against the water. One eye is half shut. The confidence is gone. So is the challenge. He does the only thing left. He turns and flees. Not a slow retreat. Not a dominant male pretending he chose to leave. He runs. He drives through the water faster than you have ever seen him move, away from the deep bend, away from the pool, away from you. You do not chase him. You simply float in the center of his old territory and watch the river accept its new ruler. He never comes back. Not the next day. Not when the rains settle. Not when the dry season returns and the deep bend becomes the best water for kilometers. The old male is gone, carrying a broken skull and a broken rein somewhere downstream, if he lived at all. The river notices before anything else does. Territory has a sound to it. For years, this stretch of water woke to his bellows. His patrol wakes. The constant pressure of something large and angry claiming ownership of every muddy bank and crossing. Then, all at once, that sound disappears. In its place, there is only quiet, and then there is you. The other saltwater crocodiles understand quickly. They do not test the bend. They do not nose into the shallows to see what kind of animal beat a 6-meter male badly enough to erase him. They keep their distance. A kilometer, then 2, then more. They do not need to understand exactly what you are. They only need to understand the result. Something stronger has taken the deep pool. Now all the energy that once went into survival goes somewhere else, into hunger. You start with pigs. Feral pigs root along the muddy banks in careless groups, turning over soil, squealing, shoving each other toward the edge to drink. Your first real ambush lasts 2 seconds. A burst from the shallows, jaws closing around a 50-kilo body, one scream cut short by water. Easy. Barely worth the effort. So you go bigger. Cattle come next. Wandering down at dusk when the river surface turns to bronze and shadows hide your shape. They are cautious, but only in the way prey learns to be cautious around normal crocodiles. They know to watch for 4-meter predators lurking near the reeds. They do not know about a 5-meter monster with a skull built to crush. Your first cow steps ankle-deep before you hit her. You erupt upward, grab, and drag. 30 seconds of kicking, splashing panic, then stillness. You feed for 2 days. By the time the next dry season comes, you are no longer just surviving this river. You are reshaping it. And soon, even the buffalo will learn there is something in this water that is worse than any crocodile they were ever taught to fear.